Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you Group D of the round of 16 in the CNSL. This is going to be a great one. We are starting out strong with Scan, our favorite Terran player, going up against Ridesky, another contemporary of Scan, one of the best rising Terran players in the world currently. The other two players in the group, Soso and Motive. I gotta say, I think this is probably my favorite group in this tournament. Just taking a look, right? Like, Ridesky is always, like, super high on the ladder. He's been top 10-ish on ladder very oftentimes for years and years and years. Hasn't quite made his ASL debut. Obviously, Scan has been in ASL before. One of the best Terrans out there. I mean, we've casted unlimited of his games on this channel. I'm sure that you guys love him as well. And then our other two players, Motive is a very strong Protoss player. You know, he is someone who, again, there's a lot of games on the channel of him. He's super active right now, practicing hard, and definitely can give these guys a run for their money, I think. And then last but certainly not least, Soso in this group. Soso is one of my favorite Terrans to watch. I really like his play. I think you are going to as well. He has been in ASL. He plays a very different looking game, and I'll talk more about that when we get into his series against Motive. So anyways, this first round, of course, best of one, and then best of threes after these first two games. Ridesky versus Scan on Neo Sylphid TVT. Really anything can happen here. Sylphid generally gets played pretty aggressively. You know, you don't have any sort of high ground or anything like that to help you defend, and there's a lot of different attacking angles. Now, Ridesky goes to the center, not going to find anything. The reason he's going through the center is because he's setting up a gasless expansion here, right? Going for that 15 command center. If there is a Rax in the center, you're just going to die doing this. So when he scouts there, if he sees one, you know, he can do something like depot, bunker, gas, right? Like, or if it's two, you just make a bunker here and you win, right? So anyways, he's kind of hedging against that. Gets over here, finds Scan first. And gonna find that Scan is doing a very standard build. Just going for a factory expansion. Goes ahead, gets that factory down ASAP. The Ridesky, of course, going to try to slow this down. It's not going to work because Scan's Marine comes out. Ridesky actually cycles through, and he's going to try to check. Nothing on gas here. You know, just one. You're looking to see if they have a second on gas. That's basically why he sends it back. And you don't have enough money for another building at this time anyways, but if you see them mining additional gas, you know some sort of rush is occurring. Now, Scan's SCV up here does see that it's a gasless expansion. And now we get to see, how does Scan want to deal with this? You know, there's a lot of different ways. First off, if you scout it first, you can put SCVs back on gas and try to cheese them, like a two-factory play, or even a factory starport with Marines. But instead, Scan going to go ahead and just make a command center. Well, I mean, that's okay. We'll see what his follow-up for that is. We have seen Scan with some interesting builds, like a proxy starport into a drop. That might be what he goes for here. See this SCV just still kind of running around. We'll see if he throws that down somewhere where... Yeah. We already saw this from him in the tournament, if you recall. I'm trying to remember who it was against in the previous round, but he did the same type of maneuver. So that forward starport is going to allow him to drop super, super fast in the main base, right? You're going to be able to get some vultures in there and possibly do a lot of damage. Looking over at Ridesky's natural, he does have a very solid wall. Only vultures, well, vultures rather, can only fit over on this side, and if you just pull SCVs, they'll get blocked and killed off. So very solid defense. Has a factory going. Looks like he's going to go starport with this as well, or he would have already started another factory. Looking down at Scan's base, notice he's skipping mines, just going directly into speed. Just wants to kill as many SCVs as is possible. Now, this is going to be kind of interesting, because definitely Scan is going to kill a good amount of SCVs. There's no question. But is he going to kill enough? And this follow-up, there is sometimes you go Wraith with Cloak afterwards. If he goes Wraith with Cloak against a non-cloaked Wraith, I could see Scan winning this very, very quickly. Right? Like, that would be a pretty dominating opening. Now, the barracks floating in, he is going to see you know, if the machine shop is spinning, you know that this is siege, and he should be able to scout the starport as well. There's the dropship. Where's our vultures? 1, 2, 3, and it looks like, okay, there's number 4. Dropship almost done, speed kicking in, so he is going to be able to drop all 4 in there. There's only going to be 1 siege tank for defensive purposes. It takes 1 siege tank a long time to kill this many vultures. Now, let's see. Okay, there's an armory at home for Scan. There it is. So maybe not going to go Cloaked Wraith. It looks like we are going to have Cloaked Wraith from Ridesky. Drops off his vultures, and again, we have another, like, 10 seconds before that next tank comes out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, nice drill. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 SCVs killed. A huge amount of SCVs killed at 12. But look at Ridesky's SCV count, 29 to 32. Loses 12 SCVs, casually down 3 SCVs. Okay, that's the strength of going for a fast expansion like this and following up with a build order like he did. Look at this, throwing down the factories. Honestly, his economy is barely behind Scans right now. And don't forget, he had a lot of SCVs mining for a long time. So, you know, as far as what's been mined, Ridesky is still okay. But that was a good opener from Scan. You can't deny that. And especially with these add-ons being made, you know, comsats cost you 2 SCVs per comsat. That's the build time. So both of them going up to 4 factories. Siege mode on the way here for Scan, getting Goliath as well. And it seems like Ridesky may just be switching, like skipping the Wraith rather. We don't see any Wraith. We don't see any Cloak or anything like that. Maybe he's decided, you know what, this is not the time nor the place. Especially if Scan had gone for the Cloak, right? That's what I was kind of talking about before. If you go for Cloak and Wraith after that as a follow-up, you can be weak to counterattacks sometimes, but you can catch a build that's going Wraith very, very hard. And you see that Ridesky, I guess, wants no part of that. Now, Ridesky sending down his barracks. Marine scouting around a little bit as well. Kind of a funny central barracks there for Scan. Doesn't want to lose that too quickly. And 2 factory tank Goliath seems to be what they're both thinking about right now. Just making as sturdy armies as possible. Let's look at the size. 3 Goliath, 4 tank. 4 tank, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so maybe just a tiny tank advantage for Ridesky. Not likely something that's going to make a big difference. But he might end up making a dropship here. That could be a very powerful move. Now, Scan is actually getting range upgrade for his Goliaths. He already has that speed, and he is getting mines. Has Siege as well. Siege is up. Okay, gets a decent volley there. Some damage onto the Siege tank as well as the Goliath. Now, one thing I want to mention, right, is that if you look at this positionally, Ridesky's natural rallies down to the back of Scan's main. So this area is very hard to defend. If Ridesky sets up some sort of containment, don't forget he can quickly ferry units into the main base. Probably not this early, but that is something you have to worry about in the mid-game on Sylphid. Now, zooming back in, you can see Scan taking... Actually, TVT is just better zoomed out, for real. I actually would like to hear in the comments if you guys mind how much I like to zoom out in TVT, because it really shows you what's going on better than anything else could. Because everything happens at range. You can see Ridesky gets 2 tanks there. That's gigantic. He is going to lose his barracks, but this is huge right now. Scan doesn't have enough to fight this. That's 6 siege tanks, 2 more Goliaths coming down, and everything is going to get eradicated. Yeah, he only loses 2 siege tanks and a Goliath there, clearing everything Scan had. And suddenly, this game turned on its head a bit. Scan is out there with vultures trying to lay some mines. And in fact, he lays a lot of mines over here. I'm not sure, like, those will be useful at some point, but not right now. But right now, Ridesky has a lot of potential with this attack. A ton of siege tanks and Goliaths coming down the map. We have a vulture drop going down, so once again, Scan can gain that SCV advantage, but if you get a large contain on your opponent, that can mean more than economy in Terran versus Terran, unlike other matchups. Containment really is so strong. Now, picking off 5 SCVs or so here, 6 SCVs, really a decent vulture drop once again. Scan getting a 3rd base at a gas location, and he's going to start thinking about how he wants to break through here, because that's going to be probably the most important part of this game, right? Like, well, obviously we've had a lot of important parts already. Scan's done a lot of harassment. Ridesky had a great moment there where he ended up killing all of Scan's tanks that he had. But if you look at what Ridesky is doing, he's just massing off 2 bases. He's like, look at all these SCVs coming. My God, I guess he wants to repair. But Scan right now is trying to break through the left-hand side. He decides, you know what, this is too long a siege line. I should have an opportunity here to break through part of it, and he is right. Now look at this. SCVs have come, so that can actually make a big difference in a lot of these fights. Uh-oh, Scan way out of position. Ridesky going towards the natural. This is terrible news for Scan. Oh my God. Ridesky with one big decisive move. He's behind right now, but he has so many tanks and Goliaths, and he just shoves them down Scan's throat. Scan unready for this. And dude, Ridesky is crushing. He is getting so much damage here. Scan is going to have to chip away at this army from both sides. Sieging tanks here, kind of pushing back, and then bringing his tanks in from the other side. This is still something he can clear, but he did lose his SCV advantage, or most of it at least. Moves forward once again, kills off quite a bit. Don't forget, Scan does have this 3rd base up. More units coming down right now. We could see a flank. Like, if this set of units comes down and the Goliaths go at the same time, they will kill all these tanks. Oh God, here he goes, here he goes. He's doing that flank I was talking about. Ridesky going to be able to eliminate these tanks. In the meantime, Ridesky's tanks being pretty darn efficient over here. And look at that, coming down for a reinforcement. Scan is completely contained. Huge advantage now for Ridesky. That group of tanks was Scan's, I'm not going to say last resort, because if he can hold this and this doesn't get scouted, I know that's like a big ask, but yeah, it doesn't look like he can even hold it. Unfortunately, Ridesky with mass Goliath tank going to get in and try to get the kill. Yeah, that's honestly going to be it. Scan can't just pop out like 3 tanks and hold this at this point. Crazy killer instinct there from Ridesky. And, you know, I think these two pretty evenly matched. Maybe Scan is just slightly better, but no huge surprise for Ridesky to take a game. And that's going to put him into the winner's match. Scan, unfortunately, going to go to that loser's match, which is going to be a very hard one. His command center getting blown up. GG, Ridesky moves forward.